Hello guys and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, in this video, I want to show you guys how I am uh, increasing my rapid and my blitz elo by at least 150 points. This is how I did it in the past month. So I have developed a style of play where I really like sacrificing my white or my tuck square bishop, depending on which pieces I'm playing, onto that castled king side of my opponent, getting rid of that h pawn. When I get rid of that h pawn, the g pawn then really has to place the h pawn by recapturing, and then that whole pawn structure has now been ruined. I have isolated that pawn. I'm able to get some really good positions on that king side and be able to meet my opponent as quickly as possible. Remember, in a rapid or a blitz game, you can't really take it to the end game, because you might lose on time. So the strategy is that you need to try and meet your opponent as soon as possible. I just want us to review this game that I played today so that I can show you the kind of thinking that I have developed and the thinking that you should try and develop when playing blitz or be free. Do not constrain yourself. Do not think about a lot of things. Do not think about taking the game to uh, the long game. Try and sacrifice. Try and get good positions and try and really attack that king on that king side, especially if your opponent, you know, uh, plays along with your opening. I just wanted to check this out here. So we played 4, 45. Pretty standard. Everyone was just developing their pieces. Okay, so after here, knight f6, I thought, okay, my opponent is coming for the center, really nothing is has changed at this point, it's the two knights defense games, the Italian game. This is a very good variation to be in. Um, Everyone is really going to try and defend that center, castle early, and then really, try and attack using the center. So what I decided to do was, okay, I'm going to castle, giving up that free pawn, but then doesn't take that free pawn. He decides to play knight c5, developing his pieces, also getting ready to castle kingside. So what I do is that I decide to move my bishop out of the way. I want to capture that pawn on e5 because basically when a move like this is played, that pawn on e5 is a free pawn because I'm going to lose a piece and then I'm going to regain it back in the next move, and so then we are then balanced all over again. My opponent decides to castle, and then I do as planned. I take that knight on e5. It recaptures. This is the reason why I moved my bishop out of the way, because after I played this pin on my opponent, he could have taken that light square bishop, and that way the pin didn't really work, you know. So move that light square bishop out of the way before you do anything. Recapture a piece, and then now you're a pawn up. Okay. Do not do not be afraid of playing kinds of moves. Do not be afraid of being aggressive. I mean, this is a blitz game. You don't really have enough time to actually develop a long-term strategy. Just really go for it. Be aggressive as possible. So the moves after this were very standard. You know, trying a pin there, protects that knight. I try and finish my development. Okay, now my opponent, you see, doing the same thing to me. He's also being very aggressive. Obviously, if I capture that light square bishop, he was gonna come in at f3 and check and fork my queen. So I decided, okay, you know what? That's fine. I can just come in here with my queen. This is a nice safe square and threaten to capture that bishop. So he flees. I block, captures. I decide to capture with the bishop. You cannot move that knight on f6 because now it's pinned to his queen. I decide to get that knight out of the way. This is when I saw that, okay, if I can ruin that pawn structure, I have f4, moving that knight out of the way because I'm going to threaten f4 and then my rook will be able to come in and join the party. So exactly what I did. Captured. He has to recapture, and then I come in there, and now this king is all exposed. My queen is safe because he doesn't really have a lot of pieces. But then I don't know why he never decided to play knight to g4, because the knight to g4 is also safeguarded by the other knight. He has support from the other knight. But I don't know. I think it's a time factor, as you can see. Okay, I was the one that was losing on time, but then also a blitz game. It thinking, yeah, there's not really any time. Okay. Next move, it tries to get my bishop out of the way. I flee with the bishop. No, no, no. Here, I decided, okay, I really want to end this. Let me bring out this knight, because if that knight goes away, I can bring out my rook, put it on f3, and then once the rook is on f3, I can move it around those files from here in the 8 file and then really start attacking them. My opponent decides, okay, no, it's fine, you can do whatever you want. Let me capture, so I get the knight out of the way. Capture, and then obviously he recaptures, and then I decide to capture that knight on f6. Okay, so what do you think was the best move for black in this position? I want you to pause the video, comment the best move for black in this position, and then come back and finish the game. What my opponent did in the game was he played queen to b6 check. Obviously coming in to bring in pressure onto that back rank. Because obviously the next move is queen captures b2, and then obviously threatening to take that rook. I move the king away, like I did. He then captures in the center. Now, is this a blunder or not? How should I have ended? I want you to pause the video. Okay. I decided to play rook to f1. Obviously, delaying the time for him, if he decided to take on b2, I would have had to play rook g1 or f1 or whatever, really get that rook out of the way. But I decided, okay, let me connect the rooks so that I can take that pawn on f7. And by taking the pawn on f7, obviously I'll be threatening mate in the very next move. So my opponent decides to reinforce that pawn on f7. Right. Now, this was, the move before the brilliant move, before the brilliance. But then, as you can see, there's a time factor, there's a time pressure also on my side. What was the deciding move? I want you to pause the video again and then write the finishing move that I should have played in the actual game before playing this move, which I'm going to show you right now. I decided to play rook captures d6, right? My opponent then played b5, obviously threatening a bankrupt mate. And then I was like, oh, wait, he's going to play bankrupt mate. So I pre-moved rook g6 check. Rook g6 check puts my opponent in what we call, I think it's called zigzag, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. My opponent now is forced to make a very, very bad move, because he has no other legal move. The only legal move that was here was f captures g6, which is what my opponent did. And I ended the game f captures f8. Now, you see that sacrifice that I did on that pawn on the 8th file. It really gave me a good standing, a good opportunity to really win this game. And this is what I want you to see. I want you to play these kinds of sacrifices in actual games so that you can see that by ruining the pawn structure on the king side, reinforcing and having your rooks come out for play. Forget about the center when you are playing plays. And then really focus on that kick side, really focus on good positions that put you in a mating position, not trying to win material. Okay. But yeah, I hope you really liked the video. I want you to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more and comment your rating below. And then come back if your rating has improved by 150 points like mine. And then we can go from there. Hey guys, I'll see you in the next video.